Alright, I'm shooting this live. This is the freeway Highway 80 from Vacaville, and I want to show you all the fires that's actually jumped over from one side of the freeway up to the next, and it's actually currently burning through. Right there, you can see it over there actually. See the right there. They closed off the freeway road over here to the right because there's actually more fires on the right, and you can see here on the left, and you see the dividers, the freeway dividers is actually on fires. Halfway through, it burned. This area burned about 2 hours ago, and you can see it right there. And I just want to say, with all this smoke around, the Model 3 is doing quite well. This is a Tesla Model 3 video. As you guys know, the Tesla Model 3 has one of the best filtering system, and yeah, you can see all this going on and hardly smell any smoke. To be truthful to you, I'm so impressed. I drove through that road earlier, and this is the second time driving it. There's still in flame. And I can tell you that freaking Model 3 filtering system is doing its job to keep us from inhaling all this toxic smoke.
Yes, exactly. If you woke up like I did in the city, pretty far away from where I am now, I could still smell the smoke coming in on 80 East. The smoke began to get thicker. You could actually see it in the air, and you could see some of those flames from the freeway. Right now, I am in Vacaville at the intersection of Cherry Glen and Pleasant Valley Road.
Smoky and fiery. This closure between the airbase exit and Cherry Glen Road. The CHP saying this is not where you want to be. You need to avoid this area. NBC Barry's
Smokey, it is windy. I had to put these goggles on just because I couldn't see the smoke burning my eyes, and I just watering. Now, this is what it looks like. We're at the Cherry Glen exit, and you can see why they had to close this freeway down. There is fire everywhere. The fire jumped the freeway at about 3:30 this afternoon. Fire actually jumped from the north side of the freeway to the south side of the freeway, and that is why they had to close this freeway down. As you mentioned, the freeway is closed. Let's swing around this way where you can see the fire is burning on the other side of the freeway. Not sure where these folks are heading. There's fire everywhere, more fire trucks. The city of Vacaville Fire Department with lights and sirens on. Benicia Fire. Now there are crews here from all over the Bay Area trying to get this situation under control. Right across the freeway, I don't know if you can pan over, but there is a line of fire right there. Earlier today, it was not on the south side of the freeway. So, and there really isn't any alternate route. So if you're coming from Sacramento, I actually talked to a guy who was on his way home from work, trying to get to Vallejo, coming from work in Woodland, and there's no route for him to go. He's just parked on the side of the freeway now. He's talking to his wife, and she's, in a panic, and he's stuck. At this point, there's just no getting through and no estimated time of when this fire or when this freeway is going to reopen. More folks are being evacuated, but with the freeway closure, this definitely limits where people can go, where they can evacuate to. For folks with family up in Sacramento, I mentioned earlier that my parents live up in the Auburn area, and that was going to be where my kids were going to evacuate to, but now they're stuck in Fairfield, can't get to Grandma and Grandpa's tonight. So we will continue to monitor the situation. Incredibly smoky.
This is the following day of the LNU complex fire. You can see all the smoke all around this area, and just to let you know that the Tesla Model 3 has been doing quite well right now as far as making sure this toxic air stays outside of the cabin. Definitely worth driving this car for environments with such toxic weather, toxic environment. Right now, today, this city has one of the worst toxic air in the entire world. because of this fire. I'm going to show you more of the aftermath on another shot further down this freeway, where the actual fire crossed overnight, crossed the freeway and burned half of this like 2-mile radius of this Highway 80. It's an Interstate Highway 80 that connects 2 cities together, suburban cities in Northern Bay Area, California. So it was a heavy trafficked area because they closed it for 3 hours. But let's go take a look at that in a second. All right, here's another shot of the LNU complex fire between Napa, Vacaville, Fairfield, Solano County, and it burned through all this right here. You can see all the mountains over here. It spared that this farmland. They were able to rescue that farm over here. You see it on the left and right where it crossed over. Actually, last night, as you saw in my other video, this median boundary was burning because it's made out of wood. And you can see the devastation of the fire that really created this horrible air quality this morning. Here's another shot of the surrounding area. All those trees was burnt off. You can see some of them over here wasn't affected, but for the most part, when it crossed the freeway, it burnt everything. The medians. And over this hill was another like subdivision of housing, and they had to do an emergency evacuation. You can see further down there last night, and there was heavy traffic all around yesterday because they had to close down this freeway in both directions, and everyone else was left scrambling, not knowing where to go. And it was a very chaotic day yesterday and night, but luckily they were able to stop it in time. All of this has been good because we've been driving the Tesla Model 3, and the AC or this cabin filter in this thing is awesome. Complex fire had no chance getting into the Tesla Model 3. HVAC system, it's really good. Can't even smell it. Can't smell the smoke whatsoever. We just drove through that side of the freeway, which has a lot of smoke, and this side it kind of lifted a little bit more, but still could not smell any of the smoke. So pretty good.